some nature corn. Okay, so don't think it's your boy Hank. Welcome to our show. Because we're doing more, because we're having a wonderful day on this 25th September 2025. I know the last day of the good place, so we decided to have a little bit of a energy that is not an energy drink because yeah, should be healthy. We are going to be tasting the lovely Ocean Spray Diet, which is blueberry. I do not like blueberry, however, th- th- this is a blueberry juice. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. The last time we had Ocean Spray was last winter, and it was peach. So without further ado, let's test it out. I'm excited because again, this is something that I wouldn't get for myself because of the blueberry. But what if it's a great thing? So without further ado, let's taste it. It's nice because it's very drinkable. It's a nice bottle. It's fun to hold. It's not too big. It's not too heavy. It's 1.89 liters. It does taste really good. I'm gonna be honest and say it isn't sweet like you'd think. It's actually kind of bitter, which is a great thing. A bit sour, which is weird because blueberry aren't sour. And it's delicious. It is really, really good. It's such a nice taste. And I hope this wasn't for work. Because my mom brought this and I was like, oops. I just think about maybe it was for work because it's big for me. I hope it wasn't. So delightful. You do have the blueberry taste. A bit of sour taste, but the very first taste you have is blueberry, and it's quite pronounced. Even for a guy that's not the biggest fan of blueberry, um, it's still actually pretty good. So yeah, highly, highly, highly recommend. There's not much to say. Like, it's blueberry juice. I don't think I've ever had blueberry juice, however. And what is kind of cool here is they sell it as somewhat of a more watered juice with very, 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 very perfumed water. So it's amazing. Try it out. Again, the brand Diet Ocean Spray Blueberry. It's worth trying. Don't blink, it's your boy Ying. My apologies. If they've been doing well because they're been having a wonderful day on his 25th. Ooh, we just died. On his 25th September 2005. As you guys know, we are going to be doing some beloved. Why when I say beloved, I feel like saying dearly beloved. Oh yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. We're gonna be doing some beloved, The Good Place. How are we doing? We're not doing great, but we're not doing bad. It is 7 o'clock p.m. 7 o'clock p.m. And we are at season 3, episode 8. Now there is 5 episodes. There's 18 episodes left. So if you do 18 divided by 4, it's 4 hours, right? Now there is a little bit of an issue. There's a little bit of an issue. What is that issue? Well, the last episode is an hour long, so I don't know how we're gonna do it. But technically speaking, I do have 7 hours left, so we're good. We're completely good. Anyway, let's freaking go. Got the Acer laptop, baby, my true and only. You know what's funny? I thought this was a lower quality laptop than the last one, but I went on Amazon to buy the wire needed to charge it, and actually it's valued more. That it's something beside because we saw the movie. It just makes a lot of sense. It just makes a lot of sense. So we're gonna go back to season 3, episode 1. Again, we're at season 3, episode 8. We're halfway through the episode. By the time halfway, I was exhausted. We had a bad news with Resident Evil, which I will talk about. But Um, it's just that it's just that we had to change the difficulty because I got so much to do in that sense. Anyway, what the fork? So we have something super cool, which is Michael going to Earth, right? So this, why it's so cool, is because this is, we saw how we saved Eleanor. Again, Eleanor, croissant. Eleanor being the main character, she's the one saved, but it will save Tahani, Jason, and Shitty. And it's cool because this is the first time he's going. So you're explaining the employee pathway. True. To go to Earth. And the fact that we have this is kind of cool because so far it's just portals on portals on portals. Now, this is my supper, by the way. Oh, well, no, we got pistachios. It's kind of dumb because this thing is quite meaningless. However, the worst. The worst possible. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, let's try tier 3. Maybe having to focus on both. It's okay. We're at 100, which is great. So, the most important part is the guy who is guarding the door to Earth is a huge frog guy. So this is kind of nice. Why is that important? Well, because Michael has been granted access one time, but he will go multiple places, and this is like his partner in crime, without being a partner in crime. So we once again see the background of everybody. Now this is kind of interesting because you have to remember that this is a brand new season. Oh, we're binge watching it. But if we weren't binge watching it, I wouldn't remember. This is kind of cool. This is Shitty having problem choosing between our snack we're gonna have, which is classic Shitty, and
Just gonna nudge the two of them. Just nudge.
The judge was pretty clear in it.
he's saying, and this is kind of cool because the timeline is complex. The timeline is do we just save the people, or did we saw Eleanor? So technically speaking, what they're implying here is that's in between. So Michael went to see Eleanor as a barman, give it a title of the YouTube videos, which is Chitty, who led Eleanor to go and seek Shitty. Which is pretty delightful. And this is better than sodas. I mean it. And here what is cool is we have the one granted access, right? And it's implied that without Michael's help, they wouldn't have achieved that. So is the victory truly worth it or not? I believe that Michael feels indebted to them. Michael feels that they just need a push. And ultimately speaking, does Eleanor, Shitty, Janet, and Janu, they achieved a good place without Michael's help? No. However, they're guinea pigs for maybe the system is too rough, maybe the system is unfair. And if the system is unfair, then you're allowed to be unfair. For example, you see another team cheating, right? You see another team cheating, and your correct answer is, okay, well, morally speaking, we're not going to cheat. We're not going to cheat. But then you see yourself crash, and you see that you're the captain of the team, and it's like, hey, let's cheat. Like, no, we're not going to cheat. We're going to be winning this normally. And you see that your teammates are hurt by the fact. So you deciding to hurt them by your inaction is actually leading to be hurt. And then the other team that's cheating is not the one hurting them. It's you that hurting them. The captain of the team is the system. The system doesn't allow people to have the help they might need to be there. For example, right? If you believe in fate, and this is kind of more fate discussion, you're supposed to have this chance meeting. So this chance meeting between Eleanor and Shitty happens, but it's not supposed to happen. However, if they did meet, and every single timeline and every single scenario, Eleanor becomes a better person. right? Because Eleanor becomes a better person, then it's arguable that the what you're supposed to happen is her meeting Shitty. Now, ultimately speaking, here Michael is the captain of the team. Now, why is that a good thing? Because Michael is supposed to root for the other team. He's a demon true and true. So which is cool is that a guy that's supposed to root for them is genuinely interested in this. And at the same time, this is also extremely nice because with an angel, somebody that's in charge of the good place, would he do the same thing for the four humans? And the answer is a big, I don't know. Because I don't think they would because of their system, but then their system is unjust. Michael is the only one to deviate from the system, and if he's able to prove that that deviation led to amazing result, then maybe the system should be retained, right? That's pretty cool. So Janet is like, no, you shouldn't do that. You absolutely shouldn't do it. We got more of Eleanor and Shitty, and this is super cool because Eleanor asked Shitty, can you help me? And Shitty says yes. Now, why is that important? Because the whole thing is reliant on Shitty helping Eleanor. Now, ultimately speaking, was there ever a part of you, the viewer, that believed that Shitty wasn't going to help Eleanor? No, but the fact that he's able to help her, your minds automatically switch and, okay, well, you know what? Because he's going to help Eleanor, this is possibly one of the best timeline, right? Deep down, we want the four humans to end up in the good place. And the good place is such a good show because it's not because it's the four humans that you want them to be in a good place. It's because it's them, and you're attached to them. You want people to be giving a second chance, to be giving the chance to prove that they're better, and that's amazing. That is pretty good. You got Shitty Gunny, and you need this, and this one is amazing because this one is a neurologist, right? And the cool thing here is Shitty asked Eleanor, hey, can you help me? And Shitty's like, okay, well, why do you want to help? Why do you want to change now? What is going on in your life? Now, ultimately speaking, this question is meaningless because you should be able to change. You should be able to change whenever you want. Eleanor is of a certain age, so this could be like, hey, I know I'm gonna die one day. I want to start changing and go to heaven. So go to heaven is again motivation. Without this episode, motivation where it wouldn't work. Eleanor just says, I had a near-death experience, and I saw my life fly by, and I want to be in a good place. I'm afraid of death. And she's like, instantly she say that because I had a near-death experience myself. So then she goes to see this teacher, or this specialist in neuroscience, right? And this is crazy because Shitty was already a good person. And this is nuts. Shitty was already a good person, had a near-death experience, and his idea was, I want to change. Now, it's more a personal change than a good versus evil. And our reaction was that. So it's like, okay, well, how come two different people, when it's Arcas's trash and me, is Scholar, how are we having the same reaction? So his thought is that when you have a near-death experience, your activity change, which is why he goes to see her. Now, ultimately speaking, Michael did cheat. He pushed Eleanor. But surprisingly, pushing Eleanor was the end-all be-all of everything. Because he met Eleanor, he created this this program. And this program is a study group of people that had a near-death experience. Now, Michael does nudge people to go to that group, right? But at the same time, if Eleanor doesn't meet Shitty, this group doesn't exist. Which I gotta say is nice. Now, I think her name is Annie, but I'm not sure. Now, this is completely amazing. For a couple of reasons, right? Because he ends up meeting her, right? And this is kind of cool because this episode is simply amazing for three reasons. Well, the first one is if he didn't meet Eleanor, like, so see, in multiple timelines, Shitty and Eleanor are together. they're not a couple, but they're together. So this are we assume as a viewer that okay, well, they're in the same timeline, they met each other, so they're probably gonna be ending up together, right? But then you realize that she is meeting this person, and the cool thing is, the next scene is Shitty giving a conference, or he's giving a class, right? And his class is basically, hey, I have this text prepared. Just want to talk about my experience. I had a near-death experience lately. This is how it changed me, right? Now, here's the thing. This is quite complex because it's not explained in the show. Why did he change his speech? Is it because he had a near-death experience? Is it because he met Eleanor? Is it because he met the new girlfriend? It's not explained. But Simone, I think her name is Simone. I am not sure. Their memories erased. Eleanor and Shitty go back on Earth and bond after almost a near-death experience. Michael helps them. It's French. Now this is super super cool. Shitty, and this is this is super super nice. This is super nice. So Shitty meets his friend, and this again is just brilliant writing, right? Because without season 1, season 2, this event doesn't happen. However, you don't need the two of them. So what basically happened is he goes to the he goes, and right away his life changed. First of all, his course changed, and then he makes choices. So he meets with his friend, which is the guy with the red boots. We know him, the guy with the red boots, right? So he's like, you know what? Life is so short that you should be able to do whatever you want. If you want to start losing some weight, start tomorrow. Don't start in a week. Don't take a decision. Just go to the gym. That's as simple as that. Or eat better. As simple as that, right? So he goes in and he's proud of himself because he doesn't choose. He doesn't choose anything. He just goes for what should I call it? He just goes for the blueberry muffin, which kind of in turn, oh my god, is it a butterfly effect? Is it a domino effect? Is it the snowball effect? It doesn't really matter. His friend wants to lose weight, so he goes to the gym. His friend, with that newfound confidence, hurt himself. So because he hurt himself,
2,000 years on YouTube. Oh, finest. This is all my fault. I did this for you. Muffins. I brought blueberry muffins.
Oh no, you should make blueberries anymore. Blueberries anymore. I read an article from migrant workers who become horribly mistreated.
there you go. So there's two consequences to Shitty shooting something. First consequences ultimately is, ultimately speaking, choosing the blueberry leads to him partaking in the mistreatment of worker, and it leads to him friend getting hurt. So then Shitty is back to square one, and he's not able to make a decision. However, this is kind of cool. You know why that's kind of cool? Because there's no instances where Shitty is in his relationship with Simone. However, because of that, he is needing a reassurance. See, the thing with that, right, is there's two possible, right? Because he's in a position, he's gonna go back for Simone for comfort, or because in the situation, see, as we saw in the two previous seasons, him and Eleanor, they benefit each other. Eleanor is gonna teach him not to be so stressed, to take decisions, to be a more active person, and she's gonna teach her to be a better person. So because of this traumatic event, he's gonna go seek for help, and maybe because he has a traumatic event, he's more able to listen to help itself. We got Sean. You got Shitty, right? Who goes to the book and he says, and this is kind of cool because he says, "Listen, I have this traumatic event, and this traumatic event is leading me to be looking for books for reading, for advice." Michael, which is again the librarian, goes and says,
Well, I need to find a couple of pieces and I had to think.
"There's a secret, the secret method," and Shitty's like, "What is the secret method?"
I've worked in this library a lot. They've all made it through okay. Once they learn this.
He's like, she was like, "What is the secret?"
Not about books, Mike. It's about perspective. Sometimes when you're feeling helpless, secretive to help someone else. Secretive to help someone else. You know, next time someone asks for help,
Say yes.
say yes.
Which basically means that you're gonna keep on helping Eleanor. So there's a couple of cool things. This is also one of the other time that Michael went to hurt, right? Now, Sean is still on the case of Michael. The whole Sean thing is kind of boring because ultimately speaking, it's a force of good and a force of evil. It's a classic devil on your shoulder, angel on your shoulder. However, it isn't. Sean is not trying to influence term of event. You just want to get the 4 human and bring them back to the bad place. It would have been better if they took Sean and he influenced other people. For example, right? For example, he influenced Simone, and he tells Simone, listen, she's a bad person. Because he breaks up with her, he becomes, I mean, better. So Jonathan, they're seeing that what they did was successful because the two, which is Shitty and Eleanor, are making a point, which is good. You see Eleanor studying.
Hey, so I've been trying to figure out how to pay back for him.
Like I told you, you don't.
This is super cool because every way to pay back is to give him edibles. And he's like, fuck no. But it's super sad because Eleanor kind of has feeling for Shitty, but Shitty has met Simone. And it's like, okay, she's like, oh, okay, I understand. And this is bad because ultimately speaking, it leads to...
What is 1 plus 1?
2.
What color is the sky?
Blue.
What color?
Sorry, that's not it.
This is super cool.
Yes,
There's only one question left.
Eleanor has been a good woman to Simone. And I don't know if her name is Simone.
And you gotta ask it, bud.
I only watched it once.
There's only one question left. And you gotta ask it, bud.
Simone, would you like to have dinner with me?
Wow, that is highly inappropriate. I'm just kidding. Yes, I would.
Just
Thank
go.
you for asking.
Let's go. I love that it's making fun of him.
Just ask.
Michael. Oh, you.
So this is cool because Michael in itself. So this is the brilliant thing. Michael in itself, kind of, with seeing every single neighborhood, kind of know every single he kind of know every single possible event that is gonna happen. So because Shitty ends up with Simone, Michael is freaking out. Oh my god, if they don't end up together, are they gonna be okay? And Janet is the one that says, you know what, they haven't been together every single time. So there's still some hope. And it's kinda cool because I think I got a text. Yep. Boom, baby, boom. So Michael is, but at the same time, it's so nice because Michael constantly have. It's kind of crazy because the show we were watching before was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and there's this episode where Jake Peralta goes to see his girlfriend Amy in prison, and he's afraid that she's gonna get hurt, so he's constantly he's constantly intervening. And it could have been much worse, could have been much better. Much worse. It could have been the case of Derek. We need to break up with Simone, so that way she's going out with Eleanor. Could have been much better. Shitty could have been confused about who he likes more, which is Simone or Eleanor. Again, you got 2 seasons left, so you have full of time. So Michael goes back. This is super nice because he's not supposed to be back for one more time. So this is when he breaks the rule. There's a super good way just that he broke a rule. He had his paper and it says approved. So with approve, one of them is from top left to bottom right. The second one is from bottom left to top right. You see that there's 2. And then there's a third one. So you kind of see, okay, well, he went there. Now, this is kind of important because he builds this relationship with the doorman, which is the guy who's in charge of the door. Now, this relationship is important because at the end, he can be the one that saves the 4 people, which is super, super, super nice.
Piece of chicken out.
I did, yeah, I totally.
And this is cool because the next scene, and this is super, super nice because the next scene is Shitty fucked up. He's checking out by not kissing Simone. He's checking out because he didn't tell Simone he loved her. And this is cool because Eleanor's going to be the one that Eleanor's going to be the one that helped him. Now, another cool thing that I didn't mention is, remember when I said she wanted to thank him by giving him weed? Well, Eleanor in this current episode is versed enough in kindness to say, hey, somebody did something good for me. Somebody did something nice for me. Maybe I should do something nice for them. Maybe I should do something nice for them, you know? And it's just a fantastic thing where you're like, okay, well, Eleanor learned from her past because President Eleanor wouldn't give a fork about helping Shitty. This is cool, so she feels the way to help, to piggyback is to help Shitty. And this is amazing because this makes them closer. Shitty relationship with Simone is still there, which is nice.
Needed an experience of the spray function.
There's something there, right?
Definitely, I love this.
Great. Also, I wanted to kiss you last night, but
Let's go. So they're figuring out that the near-death experience it did the brain it changed the brain function, right? And so they've created this group where they can study, and this group is joined by Jason and Tahani, which ultimately are led by Michael, but still. So yeah, so we got got Tahani now moving in now, and she's being safe, right? So we see Michael push her, and we recognize Michael, of course, but it's still nice. We see her push her. So then what she started doing is like, okay, well, I have lived my life trying to prove myself with proving that I'm a better person than my sister, but it wasn't worth it. There's a really, really cool moment at where we are in the story right now. Tahani and his sister relationship is fixed. Do you realize that both their parents? Nice, we got it. in the sink. Not in the garbage, sadly, but in the sink it's okay. So Tahani and her sister relationship is fixed. The most tragic character is possibly Jason, because his father is kind of shitty. Eleanor even faced a relationship with her mom. So yeah, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but I don't know. I didn't know her mother was dead. So Tahani goes. She gave up all her protection. She'll lead all her celebrity friends, and she goes to live in a monastery, which is kind of cool because we end up thinking that Jason was a monk in the beginning. So it's kind of like a funny twist. However, what happened is there's reporters, and the reporters are asking about her life. So because they're asking about her life, Tahani gives up on everything, which is sucks because, see, this is also important. Tahani, who technically speaking, okay, so it's kind of complex, and for human, the worst person was Eleanor. The second worst person was Tahani. Now, most people would say it's Jason because Jason committed crime, Jason stole, Jason was selling some drugs. However, Jason didn't know better. Jason didn't have the parents that taught him how to be. You know, we learned that his father is the guy who betrayed him. He took, he basically took the dance group away from him. This stuff is good. So good. I want to keep something for tomorrow though. I want to keep something for tomorrow because it's so good. It is so good. So there you go. And it is kind of nice. It is kind of nice. So Tahani being the second worst person, there's a small but still very meaningful thing that happened. And that small but still very meaningful thing that happened is basically she goes. That's a very nice way to put stuff. She goes and she's basically saying like, hey, I'm gonna give up everything. I'm gonna live in a monastery. The monastery is her way of being a good person, right? Now, ultimately speaking, because she got interviewed once, she go back to her old ways, which is she sold a product, right? Now, here it's kind of cool because this is going back to her. By the way, this is Eleanor quitting the group in itself. But with Tahani. Now this is kind of cool because she meets Michael, and Michael's like, "Yo, I know how to make mad money. We can scam people." And Tahani's like, "No, I'm not gonna scam people." And he's like, "Okay, but why?" And she's like, "Okay, well, I had a near-death experience, and this is why I'm acting the way I am." It's like, I know this study group, and they're studying that. This is how she joins, which is kind of cool. So we have also this.
Yes, I think that's best. But thank you.
There you go. Another tree. We got Chidi, we got Eleanor, and we got Tahani, which is amazing. And this is crazy because it's so fucking stupid, but it's so fucking nice. Tahani goes in and said, "Hi, my name is Tahani. My name is Tahani Al Jamil." And then Eleanor's like, "Oh, like Camilla," and she's like, "Oh, she's my sister." And Eleanor's like, "Yeah, I'm not a fan of her. No offense." And she's like, "Oh my god, no offense taken." And this is how they started their friendship. This is kind of cool because you never had a reality where Chidi and Tahani were friends. They're friends, but they had feeling to each other, for each other. At some point, like that in this one, we got the girls as friends. It's kind of cool. We got Jason, who is super nice, talking about this near-death experience and how Michael was the one to save it, which is phenomenal. He meets this, and then we learn that the band just broke. So this is, again, you guys know that I don't like the character of Jason, but we'll sell it to you. So this is leading to the event of his band is broken up, right? And this is kind of cool because Jason is the leader of the band. So he goes back and he says, guess what? I don't want to commit crime. He said, I don't want to commit crime. I had a near-death experience. I don't want to commit crime. So then a member of his team leaves, but some of them stay, right? Which is kind of funny. Now we got a dance competition, and every single time Jason fails. He fails. And this is cool because ultimately speaking, it leads him to think that amateur dance competition aren't for him. There's also the scene with the cup where he says, marry me, which is kind of funny. And then he ends up trusting Michael and ends up going to the group. And there you go. So there's a couple of super cool scenes. So here we got the guy who's in charge, and Michael will give him thermos. There's a frog on it because the doorman had a frog keychain. So Michael's like, yo, this is gonna keep your coffee warmer longer, which is something that's nice. And there's the freaking frogs. The judge goes, and the judge is like, well, guess what? So this is kind of confusing also, but it's not the best way to tell a narrative, but still. So the judge tell and say, hey, how has everything been, right? And she's like, okay, well, it's been going well. And she says, you didn't go to Earth, right? You went once. And Michael's like, no, I didn't go. And then it's Janet that says, you should watch those shows because the judge watch you in shows, which is kind of funny. Now, there's something I didn't mention. Sean is gonna figure out that Michael has been going to Earth, which by figuring out that Michael is going to Earth, he's figuring out that Michael is helping the humans and cheating. So this justify justify Sean to do the same. But Sean, did he need justification? No. And this is super cool. So then they're going back to Simone, and all of them, Jason, Tahani, Eleanor, are looking at their brain and a CAT scan to see if there's a different activity. So pretty good episode overall. You got the intellectual club, which is kind of funny. Kind of funny. Again, this is episode number 2. This is not bad. Okay, so give me a sec. I got a pimple on my nose, and it's not really to pop. It's enough to be like, yo, there's a pimple on my nose. Coming from the new subject, right? The group divides itself. But Michael and Janet are trying to keep the band together. Now, this is the craziest thing, right? There's 3 things that are super interesting in this episode. The fact that they all know Michael, so Michael can no longer intervene because he saw those 4 people individually, with a new identity individually, right? Janet can intervene, but Janet doesn't have the power that she has as Janet. She's a normal human. So then we have Trevor, which we remember from season 2, which is the guy in charge of the bad place, right? That comes in. And this is kind of nice because this is the force of evil that we were talking about. How did he get there? We don't know. How did he go there? We don't know.
For example, I'll show Jason pictures of a safe, a snorkel, and
this is super nice. Now we have so Simone. She says, okay, well, what I want to do is I want to show the pictures of image. For example, with Jason, the snorkel and the safe is where he would have died. Tahani, she'll show them a picture of her sister, and then they will show her a picture of a cart and a car. You know, so this is reviving the traumatic experience that led them to a near-death experience, which is kind of nice.
Hey, Eleanor, do I have the right phone number for you? You haven't responded to any of
Okay, so Trevor, what he's doing right now is he wants to get with Eleanor. Now, it looks because he has a crush on Eleanor, but it's because they believe that Eleanor is the one that was the most evil out of the 4. So they're probably trying to get her to ditch the group, which is super cool. Michael goes in and he talks to Trevor, and he's like, oh, I know what you're doing. And then Trevor's like, I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. So this is also cool because, morally speaking, what Michael is doing is good because he's cheating to have better results, and Trevor is cheating to have bad results. He's cheating to sabotage the experience, and Michael is cheating to save the experience. However, they're both cheating. Because they're both cheating, this is both the same thing. Doesn't matter if you're cheating for a good reason or you're cheating for a bad reason. The act of cheating is the bad action, right? There's no possible good that comes out of doing something bad. Oh, I stole. Well, this is the whole story about the bread. I stole to feed my family. Yeah, but you still stole. So Michael and Trevor are insulting each other, which is kind of nice.
Between the project and my classes, I won't have time. But this is way better.
We have a tough break here for Shitty and Eleanor. Shitty is basically telling, so Eleanor feels like her and Shitty had something special, right? Now, it's kind of complex because does she feel like that because she had feeling for Shitty or because she missed being with Shitty, only student, right? So Shitty's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't have time for you. Where she kind of sucks. So now we have a super funny scene. We got the 5 people. They had the 5 people, and the 5 people they go to the bar, which is where a lot will happen. A lot will happen. So we have the guys at the bar going in. However, and this is super cool because we got the Brainy Bunch, and the Brainy Bunch is basically the 5 of them. It's a gift from Trevor. Janet replaced the she replaced how can I say that? She replaced Trevor. Now this is super nice because Michael, if he helps them, gets recognized. Janet, if she helps them, they don't know Janet. Janet loses all power, so it's harder for her to help them. However, Trevor doesn't have power either, so it's 2 powerless entity trying to help a human, which is basically breaking the rule. And by the way, Trevor, what he's doing here is clever because Trevor being in the show right now and sabotaging the Chinese sabotage mission is bringing back the balance. There's a force of good and a force of evil, versus there's no force of good but there's no force of evil. You understand? So it's +1/+1 for evil and good, but it's compared to 0/0, which is kind of nice. But what you're hearing here is the wire, the mouse breaking, but it's okay. We got another one. So got Michael trying to intervene, and this is super fucking nice because Janet here, and this is such a small detail which is so stupid, but it works perfectly. So Janet here, what she does is, I'm sorry, it's annoying, I know, shut the fuck up. It's annoying, I understand that. Okay, think, calm down, you still have 7 hours, you're good. So, what I can hear is Janet is like, I don't have my power here. So she tried to summon a bunch of objects. So why is that important? Because she summoned those objects and she can't. However, when she's gonna be able to bring back and be able to summon them again, they will all appear in the same place, which is in the alleyway of where we saw it. Which is kind of cool because she's gonna block the judge. There you go. Okay. So we got the 4, and this is tough because this is where
Did I have to take?
the 4 of them are trying to fight, and this is breaking them up, and this is cool because Trevor, the whole goal is to break up. You got Michael listening to Shitty and Eleanor conversation, which is quite funny.
Fall apart.
Because I had to go again.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the bar and get you a hot tea or a regular temperature Xanax. Fall apart.
Nice.
Oh, right, hi. Sorry, I was just kind of in the middle of something here. Well, maybe I can help. You know what I like to do in situations like these? I haven't told you anything about what I'm going through. Do that first. Then I'll tell you what I do in situations such as the one I'm about to describe. I've been in every situation. Because I'm a long prayer. Give me quick.
There you go. So Shitty is drunk enough to recognize Michael, but not drunk enough to know that there's no way that he would be in this bar. So Michael will push him in the direction of Eleanor. And there's a sad thing because Shitty is basically saying like, look, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not sure if I can do this. And Michael will say, well, in this situation, what you should do is you should help the first one that asks you for help, which is basically helping Eleanor. Now, ultimately speaking, this is such bullshit because helping Eleanor, does it mean breaking up with Simone? The answer is no, it doesn't mean that. However, because later on, they will learn about the truth. So basically what they learn is that Michael is an entity, and because he's an entity, they will learn about the good place, right? Now, this is the craziest thing. Eleanor will be in, and the other won't be. Eleanor is the only one that knows about that, right? So kind of the crazy part is that because Shitty will learn about it, he cannot tell Simone, and he doesn't know if he can lie to her. So what he does is he break up with her. So all of this is pointless, you know? All of this is pointless. And it sucks. You got situation where Shitty says to Eleanor, I'm gonna help you.
Trevor, they're not the reason I flew all the way from Arizona. You are.
I'm sorry, but this is just... Go ahead, sweetie. I'll see you.
Eleanor tells you that she loves him, which kind of sucks because it doesn't reciprocate. Um, Jason is, Jason is on the good road. Honey's on the good road. I wish they had more here, but they'll have a moment to shine, so it's not bad. So Michael and Trevor are fighting once again. Um,
I mean, you're not sleeping, your eyes twitching.
This study has to be airtight, and this.
this is super nice. Super nice. Shidi understand how much is at stake here. It's at stake because he knows how important this course is for the four, but also Shidi believes that by leading a pious life and a good life, they'll end up in a good place, right? And basically, what they're doing is they're this is cool. This is really cool. He's they're giving his soul to them, right? And then Shitty feels bad because he's becoming friends with people. He's caring about those people, so he's not helping them because they're people that are in need of help, which is a good thing to do. He's helping them because they're his friends, and because they're his friend, that's the only thing that he's helping them. Again, we're asking the question of motivation. Are you helping a stranger that's in need, or you are helping your friend because they're in need, right? You should be able to ask anybody that comes to you and is in need, because everybody might have a different situation, but everybody that needs help should be helped. A guy that's gonna come at you and says, "Hey, I'm hungry," your friend's gonna come at you and say, "Hey, I'm kind of broke right now. You mind if I get a couple of bite of food from you?" You should help whom? The person who is more hungry, right? Is it your friend? Is it a stranger? I don't know. And also, this is also, you really have to understand the show to figure it out. But Shidi literally had a book, and that book was about, a way to be a pious person. Which it was bullshit because Shidi cannot take a decision, but it was still something he was working on, right? So Shidi also had the occasion to help thousands of people in his mind. See, and yes, you have to understand something, which is important. Shidi still believes that he's working. He's giving classes on students to be a better person. He's writing books to teach people how to be better people, right? He's spending a lot of time with 5 people or 4 people. And although helping those 4 people is the right thing to do, it could be helping more people. It could do a greater good at what he's doing right now. And because he could be doing a greater good at what he's doing right now, he's not doing the greater good. And because he's not doing the greater good, what he's doing is completely pointless, because why help 4 people when you can help 100? Right? Right? At no price but your time. There you go. That's why. So now we feel that his friend is like, okay, well, I don't know if morally speaking this is ethical to do. And Simone is like, what you're doing is kind, regardless of why you're doing it, regardless of what you're doing.
I'm not going to. I have to keep this professional.
Fine, but you need to get some rest. This morning you bit into a raw egg like it was an apple.
I thought it was hard boiled.
Yeah, but it's still a shell.
This is the best secret friend handshake, bro.
Attention, everyone. Do not look at me.
Don't know today.
And humiliating to my mind. Completely lost.
So we have, and this is really sad. This is a really sad scene. So we have more of the study with the 3 of them, which is the 4 of them, Jason, Trevor, and Shitty, right? And so they're doing this class, and they're trying to help, right? And Eleanor's not there because Shitty hurt her feelings, and Shitty is not able to give the course because, and this is they could have done so much more with this scene, but they didn't. Shitty cannot give the class because he wants to help Eleanor, but he's not able to, right? So what is important here is that Simone, she's like, he'll go help her. They could have done like because he likes her, but no, he just feel like he hurt her feelings, and this is not good.
And you said you wanted to be a better person. That was really brave. No, I know we barely know each other, but please give me 3 months. Can you give me 3 months?
Shady tells her that, listen, I think that you can be a better person. I think that if you apply yourself, you can be the best person there is. There's truly hope for you. There's some good in you, and I can help you. If you give me 3 months, I'll totally change your life. And at the end, Eleanor agrees, which is kind of good, because she in itself, Chidi in itself. This is such an important scene because I'm getting emotional because of how clever it is. Shidi, a couple minutes before, is worried that his friendship will affect the results, right? And he comes to Eleanor and he says, "I'm asking you as a friend." So he consider himself a friend of Eleanor, which completely ruined the question of, should I do this or should I do this? And Eleanor agreed, so she's back in the class, which is kind of super cool. Michael, Janet, and Trevor are going in. They got caught by the judge, the judge caught them, so they want to meet him. And this is kind of one of the worst scenes because they're all in trouble. Now, technically speaking, who is in the wrong here? It ends up being Michael that is in the wrong because Michael went more often. Trevor went for more time, but Michael went more often. Also, Janet is working with Michael, so Michael has come together more time. And he's come with Janet, which is also a help. So Michael had more trouble, but so the judge tells him, "What the fuck, dude? I told you one time."
Also, the job is yours?
And this is kind of crazy good because the judge, I don't know her name, will tell him how what he does is kind of helping, right? So for example, to give the example that the Jaguars are good, Jaguars are not good. That's a whole joke of the show. Because of Michael, they're good, so this is direct repercussion. And at the same time, so it's kind of nuts because are you helping 4 people? Are you really changing destiny? No. But those 4 people have a snowball effect, right? Which is kind of good.
Goodness, it's awesome. I'm serious. You're gonna make the playoffs. Blake Bortles is kind of okay. Maybe, I don't know. Things they did amongst experts.
Blake Bortles.
Whatever it is, it's your fault. You're so much to
So what happened is, again, Janet, all the things that she summoned, again, they finally appear, and they're going in. So they need the key. And Michael gives a look like, "Yo, you know I'm not supposed to do this." The doorman's like, "Yo, we're cool. You're a frog guy." Just like I am, because you gave me a thermostat with a frog on it. So give him the keys, and Michael is back on Earth. However, there's a problem here. You can't go back. Now, Michael is there. I don't know if Trevor is back, but Michael is. And that's pretty much it for the episode. We got season 3, episode 3, La Chasse Neige, which is the snowblower. While the group is continuing the group, Michael and Janet, now in Australia, are intervening in numerous ways. So, nothing was affirmative.
Saving the souls of these 4 humans is more important, so we're not coming back until we do.
Oh, don't you talk about that. When you walk through that door, I'm going to be waiting for you.
This is so cool. Judge is like, "Yo, he has to go back." I'm like, no. I want to help those 4 humans. This is the most important thing to me. And if I have to be retired, I'll be retired. So this is basically him making a choice, which is helping the 4 human. I don't know why this scene is important because there's no use to it.
Hey,
No.
I think you're breaking up.
That's impossible. Oh, not a good start.
So this is super cool. Because what they're doing now, Michael and Janet are doing the exact same thing they were doing in the underworld or the afterlife. So what they're doing is